So when it comes to all these conversations, especially after Harris lost in 2024, it's been a lot of questions and concerns about populism. You know, Trump ran off of a populist message. Zoran ran off of a populist message. I really don't like that label, because anyone and everyone can call themselves a populist and have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Like Donald Trump, he's not a populist. He's a con man. He's going to tell you whatever you want to hear. So it is now exciting to hear liberals and Republicans finally start to admit that the American people want to be served. We want to vote for people that's going to serve our best interests. And you know what group in this political atmosphere that has been championing that since I can remember? Yes, you are right. Progressives. Progressives are the definition of a populist. Let me break it down for you. A populist in politics is someone who claims to represent the people against the elite group they say is corrupt, out of touch, or holding too much power. Name one liberal that meets this definition. Don't worry, I'll wait. Name me one Republican that meets this definition. Yeah, trust me, I'm not going to get an answer for that one. I'll be waiting all day. But progressives, one, they have been consistent in their messaging. What do the people want? They want free health care. Look at the polling. When it comes to education, what do they want? Affordable, if not free, education. When it comes to jobs, inequality of jobs, what do they want? They want a livable wage. They don't want no, let's just, do a little bit at a time. No, we are like 10, 15, 20 years behind already. We need something aggressive. We need something that's going to put some meat on your bones. We ain't got time for this, taking baby steps. Nah, I'm sorry. We ain't got time for that. So to hear CNN and one of my favorite people, Mr. Bakari Sellers, even though he's way left field, I like sometimes some of the points that he makes, even though he's a liberal. I got a lot of differences, but it feels like he could be so close of seeing the light, seeing the truth. I don't know, maybe I'm being optimistic, but let's go ahead and hear this conversation.
The liberal who coined the phrase, "It's the economy, stupid," is now doubling down 30 years later. But this time he wants to add a dose of anger. James Carville writes in The Times, "It is abundantly clear, even to me, that the Democratic Party must now run on the most populist economic platform."
Hold on, let me take this off of 1.25 speed. Okay, there we go.
Since the Great Depression. It's time for the Democrats to embrace a sweeping, aggressive, unvarnished, unapologetic, and altogether unmistakable platform of pure economic rage.
Hey, read that. It is time for Democrats to embrace a sweeping, aggressive, unvarnishing, unapologetic. Who can do that? Unvarnished, I'm sorry. Who can do that? Harris ain't wrong. Gavin Newsom, don't think so. Pete Buttigieg, who is that? You know what I'm saying? No, they're not going to deliver something like this. I'm just saying, little by little, people are starting to see the light. And at the end of that tunnel, guess who's going to be there? A progressive.
This is our only way out of the abyss. So, is he right? Well, we saw the bromance of two men who channeled that rage in 2 wins, even if their methods could not be more different. I mean,
first of all,
for trying.
Let's time out.
Yeah.
Part of the biggest problem Democrats have is our messengers, not necessarily our message, but James Carville can go sit down somewhere, probably about 20 years ago. And I think even James should recognize that there is a seat for him somewhere. There's no one out there who is listening to what James Carville.
But on the merits of what he is saying,
I just said
is
messenger.
he right or wrong?
He is very
the way forward?
right. And the fascinating part about his
wait, did everybody else catch that?
Hey.
I did. Okay, he should go take a seat and he is very right.
I don't hate James Carville.
Hey, that's how you sound when you are trying to fight the truth. You know the truth. You know what the people want, but you know your position. You know your position. And you know you can't pivot off that. You can't be like, you know what? Damn, man, Democrats need to step their game up. No, he can't say that because then he would be giving in to progressive messaging. So he tried to like do some slick stuff like, no, it's not about the messenger, it's about the message, or it's not about the message. It's like, no, bro, now you look stupid. Now you look foolish. Now you even got Abby laughing at you. Like, you know, when she laughing at you, you done said something stupid. So now let's hear him walk this back to try to make some sense out of it.
Else catch that?
I did. Okay,
he
so
should go take a seat
let me grab this.
I don't hate James Carville. First of all, he's an LSU fan, but that's neither here nor there. Let me finish this.
So James and I share a podcast company. So I'll put that out there as full disclosure. And on this point,
he's okay on this point.
Yeah, so that's right. On this point. And even though he, threw woke under the bus along the way, fine. That is something, ironically, that even Marjorie Taylor Greene was blowing up the phone about, saying you got to focus on healthcare, the stuff that hits people's pocketbooks, and the emotion. We don't need policy robots who will explain another 10-point plan. You need somebody who literally can say, why is food costing so much? And yes, I understand, White House, you're telling me economic indicators are great, but I'm not feeling it yet in my pocketbook.
So listen.
Go ahead, Bakari.
But I was going to, thank you. But what's happening right now is something that Democrats didn't pay attention to enough leading up to 2024, and Republicans are doing the same thing. The Trump White House is just as guilty as the Biden White House for this one particular reason. There were people who were saying that crime was a problem, and Democrats would say, well, violent crime is decreasing, because it was. But voters were like, no, we don't feel that. Yeah. We were saying that the inflation is plateauing because economic indicators are saying. But now Republicans are saying the same thing. But Donald Trump doesn't believe in affordability. The Trump White House is aloof when it comes to actually talking about things that matter in people's pockets. And so that's why I say that James Carville ain't the best messenger, but his message, is right.
And once again, isn't James a centrist, a moderate, a liberal, I might say? What are we talking about here? And you want to talk about Republicans not believing in Bakari sellouts. Hey, my gosh, I love that name. I might have to start. Hey, but once again, you think Republicans don't care about affordability? What about liberals? What about neoliberals? Whatever you want to call them. Do they care? What policies did they have that represented affordability? And don't give me no breadcrumb type of answer. That's why she lost. That's why Democrats lost. Because people are tired of the breadcrumbs. So if you really about that life, if you really have solutions to affordability, your policies need to back that up. I'm sorry. And Harris and the Democrats failed at that. 100% failed at that. So it's easy to point the finger at, oh, look at Donald Trump, he doesn't care. Hey, liberals don't either. And they had plenty of opportunities to prove otherwise, and they did it on purpose. That's some facts for that ass right there.
We want someone younger.
It's kind of a mea culpa. He's breaking with himself because I think as he points out, he is of the Clinton era of centrism, this idea, and also, frankly, globalism. And I think that what he is pointing to is the fact that Democrats spent many of those years embracing all the things that Trump then ran against, and that's why they're in the position that they're in.
James is 10 years too late on knowing that's where the American people know we should be. But I want to say this one more time. what he's saying is nice, but what Democrat candidates are currently running, you have a candidate in Nashville running for Congress who says she hates Nashville. You have a candidate running in California who throws mashed potatoes at her husband. You talk about that we should have this populist message among the Democratic Party, yet the candidates that are being run outside of Mamdani in New York are not populist at all.
So respect.
Okay, one, can she just be quiet? I don't ever want to be that guy, okay? Because I know it's a bad look for a man to tell a woman to be quiet, but please allow me to make an exception for this. Can I please tell her to shut the hell up? Okay, I know that might be hurt some people's feelings, but what she just said is, can't use that word. Can't use that word. I definitely get in trouble. Just stupidity. It was ignorance. You have nothing of value to bring to this conversation. So just be quiet. Let the adults in the room at the table have the conversation. Okay, just sit there. Just sit there. Okay, damn.
Respectfully, you have Elena Moreno, who just won the mayor of New Orleans. You have Abigail Spanberger, who won in Virginia. You have Mikey Sherrill, who won in New Jersey. We actually took back and controlled all three levels of government in Virginia. We actually won the mayor of Pittsburgh. We won the mayor of Detroit. I mean, so there were a couple of weeks ago where I would just say that you're flat out wrong, because the voters actually proved the Democrats ran up and down the table. There are not many races you can point to. Republicans won because we focused on this issue.
And here's what's, I think, important about those data points is that none of those people looked and talked exactly the same, but they had a very consistent, deeply local economic message.
Correct.
They took whatever happened in Congress, whether it was healthcare, whether it was affordability, and they connected it deeply local ways.
So here's the opening for Democrats. I'll just read the headline of this Times piece. Trump falls short of his populist rhetoric, and they point to his tax breaks for corporations, his efforts to strip workers of legal protections, his desire to cozy up with corporations as an opening for Democrats, frankly, because Trump ran as a populist, but he's governing not so much as a populist.
Wait, so Democrats are complaining about tax breaks for corporations at the same time saying they want to get rid of the tariffs, which they also argue are taxes? I don't understand.
Because tariffs are a tax on consumers. Tariffs are also a tax on consumers.
Hey, I don't know who I would shut the hell up forever. This guy or Stephen Miller's wife. Like, tell me in the chat right now who, if you could choose one or the other, okay, can't be both. Don't be lazy and say both. If you had to choose one to shut the hell up forever, who would it be? And my answer would have to be this guy, Scott Jennings. Oh, well, you're telling me Democrats want to get rid of tariffs? Yes, dummy. What are you talking about? You're double taxing us. And then he knows he looks stupid. He knows he looks stupid. Mitt, you said both. I told you not to give me a lazy answer, okay? You can't be doing that.
Are a tax on consumers. Tariffs are also a tax on consumers. And if they weren't a tax on consumers, then the Trump administration wouldn't be rolling them back so they could lower the price of coffee.
Here's the deal.
So that's the part. That's why that makes sense.
Here's the deal. If Democrats want to join us in reducing all corporate taxes, whether it's on tariff or just corporate tax rates, I think that'd be an amazing thing.
No, I don't think that's what populism is. It's lowering. Populism is supposed to be about the average worker, and that's what Trump ran on in 2016. But I think the question is he governing that way? And if Democrats are able to address that, could they have an opportunity?
Well, he would argue, and look, I think the first term he has spent a lot of time on foreign affairs, and he's had a fair record of success on it. They did pass their domestic policy agenda. You know, an election year is for him to get back out. We have the best salesman in the party in the White House, and so he's going to have to go out and draw the line between why our brand of economic populism or our economic theories are better than the socialism that's running rampant in the Democratic Party. I have no doubt that he'll do that.
Is he talking about Donald Trump, who failed 4 or 5 casinos? Is he talking about that guy? Why would we want someone running the country who failed at casinos? You know, the casinos where people like literally give you their money? What are we doing here? The guy who literally stiffed contractors over and over again. He's not even allowed to create charities in New York. What are we talking about? Scott? Jennings? My God, man. See, when you have nothing, you just say the stupidest things to say. Yeah, make Mexico pay for the wall. Hey, this genius here, Donald Trump, you know, the art of the deal, where's the check at? We still waiting for that check for Mexico to pay for that wall. But no, yeah, let's leave it to that guy. This idiot, man.
But look, this has been true for time immemorial. How people feel about the economy in any given election is determinative for the party in power, and that'll be true in 26, 28, 30, 32, and for here on out. But I think he's actually got an emerging story to tell. It may not be a quick fix, but the trajectory of this country, getting lectured by Democrats about affordability who just took prices to the moon, spare me.
I mean, next for us, the panel's going to give us their night.
Oh, my God. These people. And once again, you start to see the wheels turning. And when it comes to Republicans, they're never going to give in to that. Because when you understand what the people want, that means they have the power. And Republicans don't want to give that up. Same with liberals. They don't want to give that up. They're all bought in and paid by the same lobbyists, by AIPAC. So you think they're going to give up power just for you and I to live a comfortable life? You think they're going to give up power so we can have free health care, free education, jobs that pay a livable wage? Other countries do it. And I don't want to hear oh my God, the wait time. No, I don't care about that. Hook us up. The ones that is building this country, hook us up. Because if it wasn't for folks like me and you, yes, you watching this country would be doomed. So yes, our government needs to hook it up. That's simple.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Fuck with me.